Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to another episode of Digital Business Question of the Day. And today we're going to talk about how to avoid the blind leading blind. Thank you so much for tuning in. If it's your first time here, my name is Jan Newell. I'm an online digital business mentor. I help people to start, earn online by leveraging the power of the internet. So please take a moment to like my page and subscribe so you'll be able to catch all my future videos. So why is it important to talk about the blind leading blind? In the Bible, Matthew 15:14, it says, leave them. They are the blind guides. If a blind lead blind, both will fall into a pit. So it's important to identify, to be able to identify the situation. It could blind leading blind, and to avoid the pitfall. So today I'd like to share 3 do's and 3 don'ts, and hopefully it will help you to navigate how to minimize the pitfall of the blind leading blinds. And then the first one is do understand everybody have a blind spot. None of us are perfect. So by knowing that, we'll be consciously self-checking our own blind spots and also identify other people's blind spots. By doing so, avoid us to blindly follow or give other people advice by blindly leading them into the wrong way. And so oftentimes, um, we seek advice from family friends, and then we need to understand uh, how do we know they are providing us a sound advice. Um, in order to do that, we need to do our own study on own research. So number 2 is to do our own research. So we need to have a basic understanding of the subject by doing the study, not to become expert in the area that we need help with, but rather to know enough so we can identify who whom we can seek advice from, and whether or not the advice applicable to our situation. So oftentimes we seek advice from family and friends because we trust them and they have the best intention to help us. However, many situations they may not be the right person to seek advice from because either the lack of the knowledge or understanding or experience in the subject you need help with. So it's important to have enough knowledge ourselves, be able to identify who are the people we need to seek advice from, so we don't blindly follow, or we don't provide other people advice blindly, lead them. And number 3 is to understand that to put the advice in the bigger context. People provide us advice mostly based on their own experience, their own knowledge. And we need to know, do they have the experience? Do they have the knowledge? Where do they get the information? By having the context, we'll be able to see whether or not their advice from their experience and knowledge applicable to our situation. Then we'll be able to avoid blindly follow, right? Okay, now 3 don'ts. The first one, obviously, don't receive or give advice without some basic understanding of the subject. And number 2 is don't take advice as absolutely truth. Um, the advice is very much situation dependent. And some advice is perfectly good advice for one situation. It may not a good advice for another situation. So it's important to not to take advice literally, but rather to understand the advice in the big picture, the context, and to understand whether or not the advice applicable to our situation. And number 3, don't let ego get in the way. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about you are right, I'm wrong, or he's right and she's wrong. It's about it's about we constantly changing. As we know more, we will be able to have a better advice or receiving better advice. When situations change, the advice we need will change, or the advice we provide will change. So it's very much situation dependence, experience dependence, time dependence, not absolute truth. Don't take it literally. So why is this subject important? It's very important in many situations. Um, First, if you are parents, if you have children, we parents, our primary goal is guide our children, right? So then we need to self-check. Do we have the proper knowledge and experience to guide them properly? If we don't, then now is the time to upgrade our knowledge, to expand our experience, so we'll be able to be in better position to guide, lead our children. And number two is in the situation, career change, choosing a career change. So it's important to seek the right advice, because it could be a matter of financial gain, financial loss. It's a huge impact, right? So what career to choose, whether or not it's to start this business. A lot of people, they want to start a business, they ask family, friends. You know what? If they think it's a good idea, they would have started the business themselves long ago, right? The reason they are now doing it because for many reasons, because they don't think it's a good idea, or they don't have the right experience, they don't have the right motivation, and those might not applicable to you. And number three is sometimes when you are seeking a medical treatment, and you need to understand, we need to understand whether or not treatment is applicable to our situation. If we blindly follow, it could matter of life and death. So avoid the pitfall of a blind leading blind is very important, especially in the major life decision making. So I hope you find this episode helpful. So by the same token, don't take my word on whether or not digital business is good for you to get started, and seek to understand, learn yourself, and come out to our webinar, getting all the information you need to hear from people who have done it, to hear from people who are successful, who are still in the trenches doing it. And then you will be able to see whether or not it's applicable to you or not. And then you know, don't rely on the input from family, friends, because if they have not done the research themselves, if they haven't started online digital business themselves, they will not be able to provide a proper advice to you. So the best way is to check it out yourself, to study and learn, and find out to use for yourself. So if you are interested to find out more about our digital business, how to start, and whether or not it's suitable for you, and click the learn more button above, and then and check it out. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you find this episode helpful, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. Thank you, and bye for now.